Yo, what's going on guys, it's Cynical and welcome back to another Kingdom Hearts 3 news and information video. Today for you guys, I thought I would bring you the Tetsuya Nomura interview conducted by Famitsu during the very final Kingdom Hearts World of Tres show that happened at the end of November. Now obviously, in case you guys missed out on this info, at that final showing, Tetsuya Nomura actually was there in person and revealed some interesting new information about the upcoming Remind DLC. He made the announcement that there is going to be a few new gameplay modes added to Remind's DLC. Also, in the initial video of talking about all this, I was wondering if both Fast Pass as well as Black Code mode, which is now dubbed as the premium menus, would actually end up being free and not attached to the DLC, but with the most recent State of Play trailer, it is confirmed that these premium menu modes, Black Code as well as Fast Pass, on top of the brand new data greeting feature, which is the ability to place Kingdom Hearts characters in a set and come up with your own creative new photos, will in fact be part of the Remind DLC, meaning that you do have to pay for it. In case you guys don't know, there is also going to be some new free stuff that will be available on the same day that Remind releases, but in the sense of these new modes, they won't be free. So yeah, Tetsuya Nomura was actually interviewed about these new upcoming modes. We obviously didn't get to see any of the new modes within the most recent State of Play trailer, although Tetsuya Nomura did actually confirm not to expect to see anything towards these new modes within that State of Play trailer. It's a little bit disappointing because I would have liked a little bit of a demonstration towards all the different options we can sort of flick through, as apparently there is just so many from what the attendees of the concert ended up reporting back. However guys, I thought we'd go through this interview, pick out the most interesting parts, as it does give us some more insight towards exactly what these modes are all about. Shout out to Cage13 as always for the translations of Famitsu's interview. I'm going to leave a link to the full interview in the description down below. So first up until then on the Kingdom Hearts series, there weren't any modes like this. It looks like there was a ton of laughter coming from the audience. Nomura said the December trailer will be showing new battle scenes and events that will be added to the series. What I introduced in the orchestra will not be on this trailer. So of course, we already previously knew this. All of these new modes, including the photo features, would of course not be shown in the State of Play trailer. It says right here, he then later explains that it's because if he showed the new photo mode, he believed that if scenes from the photo mode were added to the trailer, people would be confused and unable to tell if certain scenes were real or not. Now, personally, I don't really agree with this because of the fact that if you wanted to show off these new modes, and specifically the photo mode with being able to obviously spawn in characters and create your own wacky sets, I believe you actually could have shown this in the trailer by just simply putting in like a caption somewhere or some text on the screen whilst actually showing off this mode saying this is photo mode. If of course that was Tetsuya Nomura's number one reason as to why he didn't want to put in the whole new photo mode feature into the trailer. No complaints from me really though, because honestly the State of Play trailer was just absolutely fantastic, and really to know that we're getting these additional modes is really just a cherry on top, considering all of the content that we are going to be getting within this DLC. Next up, moving on, about the premium menus, Fast Pass and Black Code mode, what made you want to create those? Nomura said, I originally wanted to make a mode harder than critical, getting inspiration from Bushido Blade, a Square Enix title originally released in March 14th, 1997. This was a very old school sort of samurai game for the PlayStation 1, where there was a mode that you could adjust and enemies could one-hit KO you. So you guys should know that with these modes, you are able to adjust all sorts of different values, and yes, if you do want a sort of challenge run where enemies do one-shot you, then you can do that. The idea of adding these modes to Kingdom Hearts 3 is so that players can come up with all sorts of different cool new ways to play through the game. Whether or not you want a more challenging experience, one that is more challenging than even level 1 or of course critical, or of course if you want a sort of easy breezy muck around experience throughout the game, you can do that. I'm super excited to see what kind of crazy runs players end up coming up with just being able to change so many different values for of course the gameplay experience. Nomura continued by saying, but then I realized that would make a too impossible to clear mode, so I decided I'll make it so you can adjust it to your liking. That way the player will be able to adjust the game to a comfortable and enjoyable difficulty for themselves. So of course with the question before this one, Tetsuya Nomura did say that the idea of these modes started off with the want to actually create an even harder difficulty than critical. And what they ended up with was obviously 2 different modes where you can actually change the game's values to your liking. And honestly, I think that this is definitely the best way to go, just with how many possibilities are going to come out of this. Next up, is it possible to access the premium menu while in game? Nomura said you can, though there are moments in the story where you're unable to access the menu. The interviewer said, so for example, if you're in critical mode but you feel it's too hard, you can just access the premium menu and crank down the difficulty a bit. Nomura said correct, you can set it to however you like. So this is fantastic. This means that yeah, you don't actually have to back out into the main menu to readjust different values to your liking. Say of course you did do some kind of experimental run with some crazy values and you've decided halfway through, yeah, this just ain't for me. Then whilst you're in game, you can just simply crank things down. The other really cool thing about this is it means that for people that are actually struggling on critical in order to actually obtain the proof of times past, which at this point I think it's fairly obvious that you will need the proof of times past in order to obtain the Oblivion Keyblade, and the same can also probably be said for that of the proof of promises for the Oathkeeper Keyblade, in which you guys should know that these are going to be 2 free Keyblades that will release on the same day as Remind. It means that for people that are struggling on critical to get the proof, they can actually tone down critical to make it a slightly easier experience. And honestly, that is great because I know that there have been quite a few people that are a little bit triggered over the fact that you have to actually do something in game to get these free Keyblades. In my perspective, I honestly don't understand the complaints, only because of the fact that it is free DLC, and it is actually kind of cool that you do actually need to do some extra things in order to obtain these Keyblades. And the final question right here is, will the December trailer be the last trailer for Remind? Nomura said it will. As such, this trailer will feature layers and layers of explanation, and I'm pleased to announce that many fans will definitely enjoy the trailer. Yeah, this trailer was most certainly the best in the sense of actually giving us a proper idea as to exactly what this DLC entails. And it makes sense that this final trailer would of course be the juiciest, as of course this trailer is releasing very close to the release of the DLC. It kind of made sense that Square Enix didn't really want to show off too much throughout this year up until very close to the release of Remind. I know there are a lot of people wondering if we might potentially get one final trailer throughout January, maybe like a week or so before the release of Remind. Although again, like I have mentioned, I do have this just weird little gut feeling that potentially there might be something small that does actually end up dropping throughout January, in which I hope is the reveal of the return of both Cloud and Sephiroth. That would just be absolutely fantastic. This might just be me being wishful because I just want the proper conclusion to the story. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Now, however though, it is confirmed that Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind will in fact be at Jump Festa, as it is a part of Square Enix's lineup. Jump Festa takes place from the 21st of December to the 22nd, so towards the end of the month. Now, of course, Tetsuya Nomura has already confirmed that we're not in for another Remind trailer, but what I think could be possible to happen at Jump Festa is possibly more so of an elaboration and explanation and an actual showcase on these new modes. Black Code, Fast Pass, the new photo modes, and the slideshow mode. Because of the fact that we didn't get to see any of it within the trailer, and that I think it is kind of important to actually have some sort of a demonstration towards these modes before people go out and actually buy the DLC. I'm not saying that these are the largest portions of content of the DLC, but it would actually be nice to have some sort of footage giving us a full-on proper idea of these modes, especially the gameplay tweak modes like Fast Pass and Black Code. However guys, I just thought I'd bring this interview to your dude's attention, as well as the extra Jump Festa stuff. Real quick before I go, I just want to mention that obviously later on today is of course the Game Awards. I will be streaming the Game Awards to react to all of the juicy reveals and announcements that end up happening there. So if you guys want to potentially see me lose my shit towards all the cool stuff that will come out of the Game Awards, then my Twitch link is in the description down below. Alright guys, hopefully you dudes are having a fantastic day. I'm Cynical, and until next time guys, I'll catch you later. Peace.
Hit them on the page, you'll be coming through stain. Gold in my mouth when you suckers be bluffing. Milk crate, gaming up your bitch though. Catch me in the back playing Super Nintendo.